Captain Liam Harris stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Horizon *, his heart beating fast as the massive Galactic Council station came into view. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally found other intelligent life. Station Proxima Centauri requests docking permission, Captain, said Communications Officer Jack Nelson, his voice steady despite the historic moment. Permission granted, Harris replied. Take us in slowly. The year was 2157. Earth had unified under the global coalition after years of conflict and technological advancement. The discovery of faster-than-light travel had opened the stars to humanity, and the Horizon had been the first to venture beyond the solar system. As the ship docked, Harris adjusted his uniform and prepared to meet the aliens. His orders were clear: establish peaceful contact and learn as much as possible about this Galactic Council. The docking bay was massive, larger than any human structure. Beings of various shapes, sizes, and colors moved around with purpose. Some walked on multiple legs, others floated, and a few seemed to shift form as they moved. Remember, Harris told his team, we represent all of humanity today. A tall, blue-skinned being approached. Welcome to Council Space. I am Zaxol of the Nixari. The Council awaits you. Harris and his team followed Zaxol through corridors that seemed to stretch for miles. They passed maps showing thousands of stars, many marked with symbols Harris didn't understand. The council chamber was a circular room with tiered seating. 27 different species watched as the humans entered. At the center sat the Valfori representatives, ancient beings with skin like polished stone and eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. Humans of Earth, said the lead Valfori, Elder Xephos, we welcome you to the galactic community. After the formal greetings, Harris explained humanity's history and achievements. The council members listened politely, but Harris noticed subtle glances exchanged between them. Later that day, when the humans were escorted to their quarters, the real council meeting began. These humans developed technology at an alarming rate, said Councillor Vrax of the Tellery. They went from primitive flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 300 years. And their history is filled with conflict, added Zaxol. They nearly destroyed their own planet several times. Elder Xephos raised a hand for silence. The humans are dangerous, yes, but they could be useful. We have managed other young species before. We will do the same with humans. What do you suggest? Asked another council member. We offer them membership with special restrictions, Tifos replied. We will present it as protection for a developing species. They will accept the honor without realizing the limitations. The council voted unanimously to control humanity's integration into galactic society. 6 months later, Ambassador Olivia Clark arrived at the station with Earth's official diplomatic team. Clark was an experienced negotiator who had helped form the global coalition. The council presented the Treaty of Proxima, offering Earth membership as the 28th species of the Galactic Council. This is a great honor, said Elder Xephos. Few species are invited so quickly. Clark reviewed the treaty carefully. These restrictions on human expansion and technology sharing seem unusual. Merely protective measures, explained Zaxol smoothly. New species require guidance as they join our community. These are temporary, of course. Clark felt uneasy. Something wasn't right about the treaty, but declining would mean isolation from the galactic community. Earth needed allies and knowledge. We accept your generous offer, Clark finally said. As Earth celebrated joining the galactic community, few noticed the fine print of the agreement. Humans would be limited to 3 star systems. Their ships could only travel on approved routes, and all technology exchanges would be closely monitored by council officials. Elder Xephos watched the signing ceremony with satisfaction. The humans will be controlled, just like all the others, he told his assistant. Their potential is great, but under our guidance, they will never become a threat. How wrong he would turn out to be. 5 years passed since Earth joined the Galactic Council. The initial excitement had faded as the reality of Council restrictions became clear. Sam Miller wiped sweat from his forehead as he examined the alien device in his workshop. As chief engineer at the new Mars colony, Sam spent most of his time working with Council technology. Today, something didn't add up. "This power converter should be 3 times more efficient," he muttered. Sam had been comparing the specs provided by the Council with the actual performance. The numbers never matched. Sam carefully opened the converter's casing, a violation of Council rules. Inside, he found a small blue crystal attached to a circuit that wasn't on any blueprint. "What do we have here?" Sam took readings of the crystal. It seemed to be limiting the power flow deliberately. Later that day, Sam contacted Commander Alice Washington of Earth Intelligence through a secure channel. "I found something strange in all Council tech," Sam explained, showing her the crystal. "They've built-in limiters. They're giving us watered-down versions of their technology." Alice's expression hardened. "This confirms our suspicions. The Council isn't protecting us. They are controlling us." On the Galactic Council station, Daniel Wright, humanity's representative, faced another frustrating day. As usual, his proposals were politely heard, then dismissed. "Your request for expanded colony rights is noted," said Elder Xyphos. "However, the Council feels humans need more time to adapt to galactic standards before expanding further." After the session, Daniel overheard 2 Council members talking in a corridor. "The humans continue to push boundaries," said Zaxol of the Nixari. "They learn quickly, but their ambition must be checked," replied Elder Xephos. "They are like children playing with fire." Daniel walked away quietly, his fists clenched. Back on Earth, Commander Alice Washington entered a secure room where the highest members of Earth's leadership gathered. "We've confirmed that all Council technology contains monitoring systems and performance limiters," Alice announced. "They're deliberately holding us back while watching everything we do." The room erupted in angry voices. "We should demand answers," one official said. "And show our hand," replied Global Coalition President Maria Collins. "No, we need to be smarter than that." Alice stepped forward. "I propose a covered operation, a research facility hidden from Council oversight. We'll develop our own technology while pretending to follow their rules." "Where could we hide such a facility?" someone asked. "Europa," Alice answered. "Jupiter's electromagnetic field will help mask our activities. We'll build inside the ice." 2 months later, the Europa facility, codenamed Prometheus Project, was operational. Sam Miller led the engineering team, focusing on developing technologies without Council influence. One day, Sam called Alice to his lab. "We've been running tests comparing the problem-solving abilities of different species," he said. "Look at this." The screen showed test results from 20 different species. Humans ranked near the top in adaptability and creativity. "The data suggests humans are more innovative than most Council species," Sam explained. "We don't think linearly like they do. We make intuitive leaps. That's why they fear us," Alice realized. "We're unpredictable." Sam nodded. "The first technology we've improved is the faster-than-light drive. Our version is 40% more efficient than the Council's." "How soon until it's ready for installation?" Alice asked. 3 months for the prototype. We've designed it to mimic Council tech on scans. They'll never know the difference." Outside the lab, engineers and scientists worked diligently, developing technologies that deliberately circumvented Council restrictions. Each breakthrough was carefully hidden from Council observers stationed on Earth and the colonies. In his private chambers on the Council station, Elder Xyphos reviewed reports on human activities. Everything seemed within acceptable parameters. The humans were developing as expected, controlled and contained. "The human situation is well in hand," he told the Council leadership. "They're learning their place in the galactic order." Below the ice of Europa, humanity was already breaking free of that order. Captain Ryan Bennett of the patrol ship Defiance was finishing his routine check of Earth's colony on New Terra when the emergency signal came through. "Captain, we're picking up a distress call," said Communications Officer Lisa Kelly. "It's coming from the Ta City system." Ta City? "That's outside our permitted travel zone," said First Officer Peter Grant. Bennett frowned. Council regulations strictly limited where human ships could go. Entering unauthorized space meant severe penalties. "Play the message," Bennett ordered. A panicked voice filled the bridge. "This is trade vessel Solara of the Mritak Confederation. We are under attack by unknown ships. Requesting immediate assistance." Mritak. "They're Council allies," Bennett said. "Helm, how long to reach them?" 2 hours at maximum speed, Captain," replied the navigator. Bennett didn't hesitate. "Set course for Ta City. Alert medical to prepare for casualties." "Sir," Grant said quietly, "entering that sector violates at least 3 Council directives." "I'm aware of the regulations, Officer Grant," Bennett replied. "But I'm not leaving anyone to die because of some lines on a map." The Defiance jumped to faster than light speed, secretly using the enhanced drive developed by the Prometheus project. When they arrived at Ta City, they found the Mritak ship badly damaged and surrounded by 5 black vessels with strange purple markings. "Those ships match no known Council species," said the tactical officer. "Hail them," Bennett ordered. No response came. Instead, 2 of the black ships turned toward the Defiance. "They're charging weapons," shouted the tactical officer. "Evasive maneuvers. Return fire," Bennett commanded. The Defiance moved with surprising speed, dodging enemy fire while launching its own attacks. The human ship's enhanced shields absorbed hits that would have crippled a standard vessel. The battle lasted 40 minutes. When it ended, the mysterious ships had retreated, but the Defiance had lost 13 crew members. The Mritak vessel was saved, with 62 survivors. The Mritak captain, a tall insect-like being, met with Bennett in the medical bay. "You faced the Vorlax and survived," the Mritak captain said, mandibles clicking with excitement. "No small ship has ever done this." "The Vorlax?" Bennett asked. "I've never heard of them." The Mritak seemed surprised. "The Council has not told humans of the Vorlax. They have been the galaxy's shadow predators for millennia. The Council avoids them rather than fights them." Before Bennett could learn more, 3 Council enforcement vessels appeared, demanding the Defiance power down its weapons and prepare for boarding. On the Galactic Council station, an emergency session was called. Ambassador Olivia Clark stood before the full Council, facing their anger. The human vessel Defiance violated multiple travel restrictions, said Council High Speaker Zaravek. "This is a serious breach of the Treaty of Proxima." Clark stood tall despite the pressure. The Defiance responded to a distress call from a Mritak vessel under attack. They saved 62 lives. "You were instructed to remain within your boundaries for your own protection," Zaravek replied coldly. "Humanity doesn't abandon those in need, regardless of arbitrary boundaries," Clark said firmly. "And perhaps you can explain why we were never informed about the Vorlax." A murmur ran through the Council chamber. Elder Xyphos leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Where did you hear that name?" he demanded. "From the Mritak captain whose crew we saved," Clark answered. "Why has the Council hidden their existence from us?" In a private chamber after the session, Elder Xyphos met with the Council leadership. "The humans engaged the Vorlax and drove them off," he said, concern evident in his voice. "With only a patrol ship. How is this possible?" "More concerning is how quickly information about the Vorlax is spread through human networks," added Zaxol. "They're asking questions we don't want to answer." At the Prometheus project on Europa, Commander Alice Washington reviewed the Defiance battle logs. "The Council didn't create these restrictions to protect us," she realized. "They were keeping us from discovering the Vorlax threat." She turned to her team. "This changes everything. The Council isn't just holding us back. They're hiding the real dangers of the galaxy from us." The incident at Tau Ceti had cracked the Council's careful control. Humanity had just taken its first true step into the wider galaxy, and there would be no going back. Daniel Wright moved carefully through the less-traveled sections of the Galactic Council station. As humanity's representative, he was always watched, but he had learned to find moments of privacy. Tonight, he met with representatives from 7 species in a small maintenance room far from the main corridors. "The Council has kept us all weak and dependent," said Kree, a reptilian delegate from the Sorens. "They control what technology we receive and limit our territories. My people were added to the Council 30 years ago," added Laurel of the Polari, a species with luminescent skin. "The temporary restrictions have never been lifted." Daniel nodded. "Humans have discovered monitoring devices in all Council technology. They're deliberately limiting our progress." "What can we do?" asked another delegate. "The elder races control everything." "Not everything," Daniel replied. "Humans have begun developing our own technology, free from Council control. We're willing to share." This unofficial coalition of minor Council species grew with each meeting. They called themselves the Alliance of Free Worlds, though they had to operate in secret. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Council had increased its restrictions after the Tau Ceti incident. Council oversight officers now monitored all human colonies and ships. In a secure room beneath Global Coalition headquarters, President Maria Collins met with Commander Alice Washington. "The public is growing restless," Collins said. "They see the Council officers for what they are, not protectors, but prison guards." "The Prometheus project has made significant progress," Alice reported. "Engineer Miller's team has successfully reverse-engineered and improved several key technologies. Our systems are now free from Council monitoring." "Good. What about Captain Bennett?" "He's been cleared of all charges, thanks to Ambassador Clark's efforts. But the Council is watching him closely." "Perfect," Collins smiled. "That makes him the ideal candidate for our next move." Later that week, Captain Bennett was approached by Admiral Kevin Martinez in a quiet corner of the New Terra spaceport. "Walk with me, Captain," Martinez said casually. "What I'm about to tell you is classified at the highest level." They strolled along an observation deck overlooking the shipyard. "You're being given command of a new vessel," Martinez explained. "The Pathfinder *. Officially, it's a long-range exploration ship. Unofficially, you'll be establishing contact with species beyond Council space who might support human independence." "That's a dangerous mission, Admiral," Bennett replied. "Yes, but necessary. Your ship will be equipped with technology from the Prometheus project. The Council won't be able to track you." At the Prometheus project base on Europa, scientist Nicole Foster made an unexpected discovery while studying tissue samples from various Council species. "Commander Washington, you need to see this," Foster said, pointing to her screen. "I've been comparing human neural patterns with other species." Alice looked at the complex charts. "What am I seeing?" "This shows response to psychic influence," Foster explained. "Several elder Council races emit subtle fields that can influence thought patterns in most species. But humans," she pointed to a different chart, "were almost completely resistant." "Are you saying the elder races control other species through psychic manipulation?" Alice asked, shocked. "Not direct control, but influence. They can make other species more compliant, less questioning. That's why they keep species separate. Their influence is stronger when a species is isolated from others." "And they can't influence us," Alice realized. "That's why they need physical restrictions and monitoring." "Exactly. Our brains are wired differently." This information spread carefully through human networks. The Council's control was more extensive than anyone had imagined. On the Galactic Council station, Elder Xyphos received disturbing reports. Human compliance rates were dropping. Council technology on human ships was experiencing malfunctions, and several minor Council species were behaving strangely in the presence of human delegates. We're losing control of the humans, Siphos told the Inner Council. And worse, they're beginning to influence others. We must tighten restrictions immediately before this spreads further. What the Council didn't realize was that it was already too late. The resistance had begun. The Pathfinder drifted silently in orbit around an uncharted planet in a system far beyond Council space. Captain Ryan Bennett studied the readings on his display with growing excitement. "Are you sure about these scans?" he asked his science officer. "Yes, Captain. The energy signatures are unlike anything in Council records, and they're coming from underground." Bennett assembled an exploration team and took a shuttle to the surface. The planet was rocky and barren, with a thin atmosphere that required breathing masks. Using handheld scanners, they located the entrance to an underground facility hidden beneath a mountain range. The door was massive, made of an unknown metal that showed no signs of age, despite the dust covering it. After studying the control panel, the team managed to open it. Inside, they found vast chambers filled with technology far beyond even the Council's capabilities. Lights activated automatically as they entered, revealing machinery that hummed to life after thousands of years of dormancy. "This place is ancient," whispered one of the team members, "but it looks like it was abandoned yesterday." In the central chamber, they found a data terminal. The ship's linguist, Susan Parker, worked for hours to decipher the strange symbols. "I think I've got it," she finally said. This facility belonged to a species called the Precursors. According to these records, they disappeared about 50,000 years ago. "The Precursors?" Bennett asked. "I thought they were just legends." "Very real," Susan replied. "And there's more. This data contains information about the true history of the Council." The information was shocking. The elder races had systematically suppressed emerging species to maintain their dominance. They had hidden the existence of threats like the Vorlax to justify their control. Most Council species had been manipulated for millennia, never allowed to reach their full potential. But the most startling discovery came when they accessed genetic data stored in the facility. "Captain," Susan called, her voice shaking. "According to these records, humans are genetically related to the Precursors." "What?" "There are similarities in our DNA structure. It explains our unusual adaptability and resistance to psychic influence." Bennett immediately sent a coded message to Earth. Within days, the information reached the Prometheus Project. Commander Alice Washington personally briefed the Global Coalition leadership on the Precursor discovery. "The implications are enormous," she explained. "The Precursors were technologically advanced beyond anything we've seen, and we share their genetic makeup." "Why would they leave?" asked President Collins. "The records aren't clear," Alice replied. "But they left technology behind, possibly for us to find when we were ready." Sam Miller's engineering team worked day and night to understand the Precursor technology. Each breakthrough accelerated their progress exponentially. "We've improved our faster-than-light drives by 300%, Sam reported. "And we've developed shield technology that can block Council scanning systems completely." On the Council station, a spy in the human delegation managed to send a partial report about the Precursor discovery. Elder Siphos called an emergency session of the Inner Council. "The humans have found Precursor technology," he told them gravely. "If they master it, they will break free of our control completely." "How did they even find a Precursor facility?" asked Zaxel. "We've hidden all references to them for thousands of years." "It doesn't matter now," Siphos replied. "What matters is containing the situation before it's too late." The elder Valthori pounded his fist on the table. "I have warned you all about the humans from the beginning. Their unpredictability makes them dangerous. We must act decisively." "What do you suggest?" asked another council member. "Military intervention," Siphos said firmly. "We must contain the human problem now, before they share what they've learned with other species." Little did they know, it was already happening. Through Daniel Wright's coalition, information about the true history of the Council and the precursor connection to humanity had begun spreading to other species. Questions were being asked. Doubts were growing. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and the Council could feel control slipping through their fingers. A massive Council fleet appeared at the edge of the Sol system. 50 warships, including 3 dreadnoughts commanded by Elder Xephos himself, moved toward Earth in perfect formation. "This is Council High Command to Earth authorities," came the transmission. "We are here to ensure compliance with Council directives. Shut down all unsanctioned research facilities and surrender all precursor data immediately." In the Global Coalition Emergency Chamber, President Collins and her advisors watched the approaching fleet on their screens. "They're positioning for orbital control," said Admiral Martinez. "If they surround Earth, we'll be trapped." "What are our options?" Collins asked. Commander Alice Washington stepped forward. "Prometheus Project is ready, Madam President. We've prepared for this day." Collins nodded grimly. "Then it's time. Launch Operation Breakout." Across the solar system, hidden installations activated. On Earth, beneath the oceans, on the far side of the Moon, and in the asteroid belt, stealth satellites developed by the Prometheus Project powered up. They emitted signals that disrupted Council targeting and communication systems. The Council fleet suddenly found their ships experiencing cascading malfunctions. Weapons wouldn't lock on targets. Communication between vessels broke down. On the Council flagship, Elder Xephos raged. "What is happening? Fix these systems immediately." "We're trying," said his chief technician, "but our systems are being jammed by technology we've never seen before." In orbit around Mars, a human defense fleet appeared seemingly out of nowhere. The ships had been hidden using precursor cloaking technology. "This is Admiral Martinez of Earth Defense Force. Your fleet has entered sovereign human space without permission. You will withdraw immediately or face consequences." Xephos was stunned. The humans had never shown such advanced capabilities before. "This is impossible. They can't have developed this technology so quickly." Meanwhile, Ambassador Olivia Clark made her move on the Galactic Council station. She accessed the main communication array, bypassing security with codes provided by Daniel Wright's coalition allies. "Attention, all Council species and independent worlds," she broadcast. "I am Ambassador Olivia Clark of Earth. The Council's elder races have hidden the truth from all of us for thousands of years." Her message, translated into all known languages, reached every corner of the galaxy. She revealed the Council's history of suppression, the Vorlax threat they had hidden, and the discovery of precursor technology. "The elder races have not been protecting us. They have been controlling us, limiting our potential, keeping us weak and dependent. This ends today." Throughout Council space, reactions varied. Many rejected the claims as human lies. Others, especially those who had already heard whispers through Daniel Wright's coalition, began questioning their Council representatives. Several mid-tier Council species, impressed by humanity's stand and tired of elder race dominance, declared neutrality in the conflict. The Mritak, remembering Captain Bennett's rescue, secretly provided intelligence on Council fleet movements. In Sol System, the standoff continued. The Council fleet, though hampered by human countermeasures, still outnumbered Earth's defenses. A wrong move from either side could trigger a devastating war. Elder Xephos opened a direct channel to President Collins. "Do not think your technology will save you. Submit to Council authority now, or face obliteration." Collins looked directly into the camera. "Humanity will never again submit to control. We've seen the truth now, Xephos. You fear us because we're different, because we can't be controlled like the others. You are children playing with powers you don't understand," Xephos hissed. "No," Collins replied calmly. "We understand perfectly. That's what terrifies you." The tension was broken by an urgent message to Xephos from Council space. Multiple Vorlax attack groups had been detected moving toward major Council worlds. With their fleet occupied at Earth, their defenses were stretched thin. Several Council captains began breaking formation, insisting they must return to defend their homeworlds. Sifos watched his carefully planned show of force crumbling. Human resistance, Clark's broadcast, and now the Vorlax attacks. Everything was spinning out of control. For the first time in thousands of years, the Council's absolute authority was being challenged, and they didn't know how to respond. As the Council fleet remained in disarray near Earth, a new ship appeared at the edge of the solar system. It was the Pathfinder *, returning from its mission. Captain Bennett had been gone for months, traveling beyond known space. The Pathfinder * was not alone. 17 ships of various designs and sizes followed it, each representing a different species unknown to the Council. "This is Captain Ryan Bennett of Earth," he transmitted to both the human and Council fleets. "I bring representatives from the free worlds beyond Council space. They wish to meet with both sides of this conflict." Elder Xyphos was shocked. "There are no organized civilizations beyond Council territory." "Another Council lie," Bennett replied simply. With the Vorlax attacks spreading and his fleet divided, Sifos had little choice but to agree to talks. A neutral meeting site was chosen on a small station orbiting Jupiter. Dangle Wright organized the conference, bringing together dissenting Council members, independent species, and the newcomers Bennett had found. The newcomers included civilizations the Council had declared extinct centuries ago, and others who had deliberately hidden from Council influence. "For too long, the elder races have divided us," Wright told the gathered representatives. "They made us fear each other while they controlled everything." One by one, species shared stories of Council manipulation and restriction. The evidence was overwhelming. "We propose a new organization," Wright continued. "The Galactic Alliance, founded on principles of equal representation and cooperation. No species controlling another. No secrets. No artificial limits on technology or territory." Support for the alliance grew rapidly. Species that had been enemies under Council rule found common ground. Those who had been kept weak realized their strength together. Meanwhile, the Vorlax attacks intensified. Council worlds were falling one after another, their defenses inadequate against the massive assault. Elder Xyphos, his authority crumbling, was forced to request human assistance. "The Vorlax will not stop with Council worlds," he told President Collins. "They will come for Earth too, eventually." "We know," Collins replied. "That's why we'll help, but not under Council control. As equals." A combined human alliance fleet, using Prometheus technology and strategies developed outside Council doctrine, engaged the Vorlax forces. Human adaptability proved crucial in battle. Where Council ships followed rigid protocols, human commanders improvised, finding weaknesses in Vorlax defenses. Engineer Sam Miller adapted precursor technology to create a detection system that revealed the full extent of Vorlax territory. The threat was larger than anyone had imagined, spanning nearly a quarter of the galaxy. "They've been building their forces for centuries," Sam explained during a war council. "While the elder races kept us all divided and weak, the Vorlax were preparing." Scientist Nicole Foster made another critical discovery. The Vorlax aren't just raiders. They're harvesting living beings for genetic material. They're creating biological weapons. The war against the Vorlax united species who had been enemies for millennia. Fighting side by side, they began to form bonds that Council separation policies had prevented for thousands of years. In a decisive battle near a key Vorlax staging area, Captain Bennett led a daring attack that crippled their command structure. The Alliance forces, using technology that combined innovations from a dozen different species, pushed the Vorlax back for the first time. "We've won a victory, but not the war," Bennett told his fellow commanders afterward. "The Vorlax will regroup." Back on the Jupiter station, Ambassador Clark addressed the growing alliance. "For too long, the Council made us believe we needed them to protect us from each other. Now we know the truth. We are stronger together than we ever were apart." Elder Xyphos watched from the side, his once great authority now just a shadow. The galaxy was transforming before his eyes, and at the center of that transformation were the humans. the species he had thought so easy to control. 1 year had passed since the formation of the Galactic Alliance. The Grand Chamber that once housed the Council now hosted representatives from over 100 species, including many the Council had kept apart for centuries. Ambassador Olivia Clark stood at the center of the chamber, having just been elected as the first human High Speaker of the new government. "We face challenges that no single species can solve alone," she told the gathered representatives. "The Vorlax remain a threat. Planets damaged in the conflict need rebuilding. But for the first time, we face these challenges together, as equals." The Alliance had transformed galactic society. The rigid hierarchies of the Council era were gone. Species once deemed primitive now shared their unique perspectives and abilities. Technological cooperation accelerated progress beyond what any single civilization could have achieved. The Prometheus Project had evolved into the Galactic Scientific Cooperative, with research centers on dozens of worlds. Engineer Sam Miller led a diverse team of scientists studying precursor technology. The precursors didn't just have advanced technology, Sam explained to a group of new researchers. They had a different way of thinking about the universe. They believed in sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. Scientist Nicole Foster worked alongside researchers from 20 different species, studying the unique genetic traits of each civilization. Her discoveries helped create new medical treatments and defenses against Vorlax biological weapons. "Every species has strengths the others lack," she often said. "Together, we're stronger than the sum of our parts." Captain Ryan Bennett, now Admiral Bennett, led the Alliance Defense Fleet. His ships patrolled the borders of Vorlax territory, establishing early warning systems and protecting vulnerable worlds. "We don't just react anymore," he told his officers during a briefing. "We predict, we prepare, we protect." The elder races had lost their dominant position, but remained influential. Most had eventually accepted the new reality, contributing their ancient knowledge to Alliance projects. A few hardliners had retreated to isolated worlds, refusing to participate in the new order. Daniel Wright served as Earth's representative to the Alliance Council. He had become a respected voice for cooperation and understanding between species that had once been enemies. During the anniversary celebration of the Alliance formation, Elder Xyphos approached Wright in a quiet corner of the reception hall. The old Valfori looked smaller somehow, his stone-like skin showing new cracks of age. "You must be pleased with yourself," Xyphos said. "The galaxy has been turned upside down in a single year." Wright smiled. "Not upside down, just opened up." Xyphos was silent for a moment. "We sought to control humanity because we feared what you might become," he finally admitted. "We never considered that what you would become is exactly what the galaxy needed." "It wasn't just us," Wright replied. "Everyone had something to contribute. The Council just never gave them the chance." As they spoke, news arrived that electrified the celebration. A second precursor facility had been discovered on a distant world. Unlike the first, this one contained a direct message, left 50,000 years ago, but still perfectly preserved. Clark called for quiet as the message was played on the chamber's main screen. An image appeared of beings similar to humans, but with subtle differences. Their leaders spoke in a language that sounded strangely familiar to human ears. "We seeded many worlds." The translation read, "But upon Earth we placed our greatest hope." The children of Earth were meant to break the cycle of control that has limited this galaxy for too long. "You have taken the first step on the path we hoped you would find." The chamber erupted in excited conversation. The precursors had not disappeared. They had planted the seeds of their return through humanity. As the celebration continued around her, Ambassador Clark found a quiet moment to look out at the stars. The galaxy that had once seemed so vast and threatening now felt like home. Not just for humans, but for all the species now working together. The Council had thought they could control humanity. Instead, humanity had helped free the galaxy.